Hello folks, Jason Christman here, Grazing Acres Farms. This morning I want to talk about a surprise on the farm. I know, it's kind of hard to imagine. You think when you run a farm you control everything, right? Well, this goes back to July 20th of 2017. Last year at that time, the neighbor's bull, the neighbor being Amish, the bull being Black Angus, he came over to pay a visit to our farm. That particular day I was back at the house. I think I just finished eating, and knock 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 on the door. I answered the door. Here's this boy, probably about 13 years old, wearing a straw hat, and I knew right away this wasn't going to be good. The old Amish boy says, our bull got out and he's mixed with your herd. I've got like 25, at least 25 heifers in my herd at that time. I said, all right, well, I'll meet you up at the farm. We'll see if we can get him out of there. Oh, he hops on his horse and I hop on my horse, ATV. And we both meet up here at the farm, clear in this particular pasture where the cattle are at. And he proceeds to tell me that his brother's on the way with a rope and they're going to try and lasso the bull out of the herd. Okay, I don't really have the first clue how to do this without taking everybody clear to the front of the farm and sorting him out. So we'll give the lasso a try. And his brother shows up and he threw the lasso a couple times, and boy, that had the herd spooked. So I told him, I said, that ain't gonna work. Stop throwing the rope. Let me see if I can sort him out, and then we'll go from there. So I proceeded to set up paddocks, or an alley, I guess, from the back of the farm to the front. That way nobody could go off path and graze or run. They'd be stuck within this alley. Well, I start to head this way and I get about halfway here, and half of the herd gets spooked. The spooked half goes through the poly wire and enters a new pasture. The other half of the herd returns back to the pasture that they were in. So now the herd's split, half having the bull, half not. The next morning I come up here, I get the herd back together, I bring them into the corral, and I sort the bull out. I tried to keep a close eye on the bull when he was here to make sure that he did not mate with any of my heifers, and I did not even see him sniffing around anybody, so I didn't pay it much thought until about 3 weeks ago. I started noticing my heifer, her udder started to get a lot bigger. Her vulva started to swell and get bouncy when she walks. So just the other day I did some calculating, and with the bull being here on July 20th, if he would have knocked anybody up, they would calf on 4/28. You know, that's just a couple weeks away. Isn't that a coincidence? My heifer's udder is swelling. Her vulva is springy, bouncy. Looks like it's swollen. Oh, I think I'm going to have a calf. Well, this particular heifer of mine is only 19 months old, so that throws me a little bit of concern there. I would rather her be 2 years before she calved, but didn't work out that way this time. So I got to do what I can to keep a close eye on her and make sure she does fine. Now, if you followed me very long at all and you've seen the bottle calves that I've raised, the shorthorn, Miley, she's supposed to be full-blooded shorthorn, but I think she's a shorthorn Jersey cross thingamajigger. Since she's a dairy heifer, her udder is getting huge. I don't know the first thing about dairy heifers. Some people have recently told me that I might have to quarter her and milk some of it myself. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand. Talk English. Quartering, what the hell is that? I thought that's when you processed them, you quartered them. So I've got a lot to learn. But in the meantime, I've been checking on Miley daily to make sure that she's all right. Kind of hoping she has the calf a little early. That way it's a little smaller and a little easier for Miley. I'm also hoping that this bull has some Cavinese genetics. But without going and talking to the Amish, I don't know. And then again, do they even know? So that's where that stands right now. Now, 4 days ago, the guy I custom grazed for brought me down a few more bales of hay to hopefully get us to grazing. And he said, "Did you notice that heifer right there of mine?" And I said, "No." He said, "Look at her udder. She's going to calf too." So, oh great. Now I've got two of them unexpected that's going to calf. You know, expanding the herd is a great thing. But I guess I'd prefer to choose who the sire is and know the genetics and make sure my heifers are a little older before that happens. But this time it's out of my hands, so I'm going to keep a close eye on Miley and this other heifer, which is over 20 months, and see how things go. What I'd like to do now is get down here in the herd, kind of find Miley, give you a quick look at her, and then if I can find the one I call Dorothy, she's the other heifer that's pregnant, I'll give you a rundown of her. Okay, let's find Miley. Miley's always one that'll go out of her way to eat, so she's going to be the one clear out there eating. So we'll see if we can find the other heifer here first. Yep, I see her. Right there she is. You can see her udder. It's got some decent size to it, but you know, that's not comparable to Miley's, but that's a beef cow right there. So let's go check out Miley. See that udder is just, it's loaded. It is loaded. Her vulva, it's very swollen. But Miley's a good girl. You know, I don't know if it's just the genetics of dairy breeds or what, but Miley will pretty much let you touch her wherever you want. She's not aggressive, she doesn't kick. She's a good girl. She stands there and lets you do what you got to do. Well, folks, I mentioned the calf was getting close. I didn't really know when she was going to have it, but it just so happened that last night as I was closing the farm, Miley was in labor. Everything went fairly well from my observation. When I got up here to close the farm, Miley was separated from the herd and actually bedded down on an area where we had a bale. She was actually really close here to the front of the farm, which made it really easy for me, and I was glad to see that. About 20 minutes after I got here, I started to see feet. About 15 minutes after that, it was all over with. What I'm going to share with you now is Miley and her new heifer calf in our holding pen. So I moved Miley up here into the holding pen because Miley's one of these heifers that if another heifer or steer or cow in general is giving her hard problems, she'll just avoid it and go elsewhere. Well, last night after she had the calf, everybody came to inspect, and Miley kind of pushed her way to the outside because she didn't want any confrontation. And the calf was in the middle with the herd, and I thought, yeah, this is going to be a little bit hard for her to figure out what to do here. So I ended up bringing them here in the holding pen so Miley could get the baby cleaned up, they could bond, the baby could know who mom is, and probably by the end of the day I'll put them back out with the herd after I tag the calf. Since she's a heifer, I don't have to worry about banding in a couple weeks, so we're all good there. Miley, you're kind of blocking your baby, hon. Everybody wants to see the little girl. You know, it's funny though. I had my wife and daughter come up last night when Miley was in labor, and I said I tried to tell if it was a steer or a heifer, or I guess a bull or a heifer. And my wife and daughter seen the umbilical cord hanging down there, and you know, if you look where the umbilical cord is attached to the calf, I guess it could look like a penis, but it's a heifer. I caught her peeing when I got up here this morning. She's unloading from the rear, not the middle, so we got a heifer. And a cutie at that. Now I have yet to see the little calf nurse, but seeing it pee makes me think maybe it nursed overnight. I know it's very, very important in the first 24 hours that the baby nurse. That way it gets its shot of colostrum. Without colostrum, its chances of survival are very, very slim. So this also helps having it here in the holding pen. I can keep a close eye on them today. Try and catch the baby nursing. I reached down underneath Miley and squeezed one of her teats, and it is definitely loaded. So all we need now is the baby to do its thing if it already hasn't. Our baby's going to take a nap. So anyway, folks, there's an update. Miley had her calf. Everything's good. I've got a new addition. It's pretty cool. Yesterday at this time I had 7 head. Now I've got 8. Personally, I have 3 more to calf. And that won't be until July, so herds are growing. So I hope you liked the video, and if so, you'll throw me a thumbs up. That'll help boost it in the YouTube search ranks and make it easier for other grazers to find. I'd also like to say, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click on the little subscribe button down below. Make sure you click on the bell. That way you get notified when I release new videos. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you next time.